Here we go, GixR Cup action brought to you by Suzuki New Zealand, and look at them all. A massive field of 15 GixRs with Jesse Stroud pole position with Zach Fuller. These two are hammer and tongs at the Suzuki Series. Let's see what they can do around Ruapuna, but some racecraft definitely has to come into play. Cameron Goldfinch third, and Shane Miller. So an awesome four-weight with Zach Fuller. Quite he got off the line really well. Shane Miller as well there. So as they head into Flexor Plus, this is just a 5-lapper, so action-packed 5-lapper. With slipstreaming the name of the game with some brutal long straights on a 150 4-stroke.
So, in fact, we can give the update that Jesse is with us as a starter, but just not in the program. So, good to get that confirmation. The guys got away from that number 1 position. So, good to know that he'll be able to retain the glory and mix that chance to run number 1 with Zach Fuller, because now when we go back to all of the points, he is effectively tied for that first place. So, nice work on board. And when Brad talks about this awesome lineup, we talk about 15, you go, well, 15 doesn't seem great. More importantly, it's a good 5 more than the quality of the field that we had last year on its debut year. So to think this is only now the 2nd year of the GixRs, man, are we growing. And that's exactly what it is about, growing future champions. They are the words that you see when we talk about the GixRs. A massive 13 horsepower. You heard it, 13 horsepower. You put the Mead Speed titanium pipe that they're all allowed to put on it, and it goes up to 15 or 16, and then it's all down to racecraft from here, and that's why you've got them all over each other. And the race we witnessed at Manfield, round 2 of the Suzuki Series this year, was probably the best one-off race that I've had the pleasure of being involved with. It was just awesome. And you had Zach Fuller, when the white flag went out and he went across the line with a lap to go, he was in first place, and by the time they got round to Higgins, if you know Manfield, he was in 5th place, because that was all the slipstreaming that was going on. It's a bit like Moto3. If you send it on TV, if you're leading when the white flag goes out, the chances of winning the race are very negligible, because all the others have got a slipstream advantage, because in 9 out of 10, mate, oh, there he goes, 2 of them going off, and that's it. Well, in fact, one's gone right off the track, the other one went wide and has rejoined the race. That is good news. They've stayed on the bike. That's racecraft that these young guys have got, and they were guys that were battling in that top group, so they've just gone back a little bit at the moment, so a little bit of a catch-up game to play with them. And this is the kind of racing that's going on, and I'll tell you what, this is very unusual for GixRs to see them spread out like this, Brad Ritchie. We've not seen it. The rounds have been closer together.
No, so I know, yeah, that was Zach Fuller, and I think that would have Shane Miller had to come together just in the left-hander out of scope there. So there it is, Jesse Stroud under control in this one, and the 20 of Shane Miller there, so it might have been the 28 of Cameron Goldfinch, so we'll just have to wait and see the update. That's put Zach Fuller back in about 5th place at the moment, so definitely the more they slipstream, the more they'll be able to reel in Jesse Stroud. But what a performance. He's already got over a 2nd gap, which is a massive gap in 150 racing, and also good to see young Caleb Stroud's made it out onto the grid there, so a couple of Strouds out there, and awesome to see.
All right, looking for young Liam out there as well, so what a good performance. And we're talking about Liam Whelans, one of the new kids that we got. This man is from Motueka out of Plasting Nelson Cook's Upholstery, supported bike. All of them are on the same bike, so well done to young Liam. Now here's a young kid that hadn't seen too much glory before, but here we are at lap number 1. He's in 3rd place already. Cameron Goldfinch in there as well, so young Cameron comes out of Wanganui, the headquarters of Suzuki New Zealand, so good to see his performances. One of our young guns coming out of there, courtesy of Pro Engineering and Tom Ditchfield on his Suzuki GSX 150F. That's the official model of Suzuki's GixR, but it's just the nickname given to the class. And checking further back out there to Hunter Stoneman Boyle, good work from Hunter. Justin Maunder, as we saw, one of those that was involved in the accidental bang there, so he's coming back in at 7th place. As we look to Curtis Bond, Hamish Simpson in there, go to young Michael Dowan. Michael's in there with his sister Lucy as well. She's not too far back, and to 14th place, and Sarah Humphrey wrapping out the field in 15th.
Yeah, awesome stuff. And look at Zach Fuller already in 2nd place. He was on the grass a lap ago in this very corner they're coming into now. So just goes to show Zach Fuller really got a great head on him, and hopefully put his head down and see if he can catch young Jesse Stroud. So awesome to see some Strouds on the racetrack, and look at Jesse Stroud. So he's had a 2nd when they crossed the line last time. We'll have a look at the gap this time, but I don't think it's going to quite be a 2nd with looks to be Shane Miller in there behind Zach Fuller. So we'll see if this 3-way can have a good little battle as we have a look at them out of the rock sweeper and down the front straight. This is where slipstream will nearly double your pace as you come in across
Oh,
the
look
line.
at Jesse cranks his neck about 180 degrees and tries to look underneath his arm as he ducks down to look at the competition behind him and see how far they are back, because that margin is being diminished, and Zach Fuller, by the way, the new fastest time at a 2:04, and as we look back here, the GixR lap record from Blake Ross, a 2:06. How's that? 2:04 down to 2:06. He's just peeled 2 seconds off that. That is huge, and what an improvement that's been made.
Out of the Liquimoli straight there, looks like Zach Fuller's got a bit of a run on into Icon, so watch the curve as they enter the left-hander, so they'll be in top gear down there as we see Zach Fuller in the slipstream, and definitely we'll have a look into Euromark, the left-hander. So there it is, Zach Fuller under brakes. Jesse just backs in the brakes a little bit more and holds the line, so awesome stuff. Good defending there from Jesse Stroud, but Zach Fuller definitely showed him the front wheel, and this is going to be an awesome little fight for the lead as it was throughout the Suzuki Series in December.
I'll tell you what, Blake Ross was one of our stars last week, and we've already seen Blake. He stepped up to the 300s this year. Unfortunately, had a little bit of an off in that Super Sport opening race, but he would have learnt a lot from it. And I'll tell you what, I'll put my money in that he'll be one of the podium pace setters at the end of the 5-round series. So with 15 races and he slipped back on one, yes, he can still do it. Don't you worry about that. And here he is from his performance last year, finished behind Thomas Newton for the glory of the class. And here was his very good lap time debut year at a 1:06.335. And here at the moment we go to a 1:04.6. So that is actually 1.8 seconds, almost 2 seconds. You do not hear of lap times being broken by that kind of margin. So the improvement that these guys have done, the bikes have done, and the class has done, are proving paramount of just how well the field is finishing here. This is GixR Cup competition. Of course, GixR, the fantastic GXR range, have been winning so often here in New Zealand, more titles than any other manufacturer. In fact, if you look over the last 20 years, you can add all of the other manufacturers together and they're still not got as much. You probably go back 30, 40, or maybe 50 years before you get anybody that's dominated like Suzuki has. A sensational range of the GSXRs on the racetrack, 12 times champions in the last 13 years, and still continuing on their winning way with the fantastic GixR Cup.
Here we go into turn one, FlexiPlus, Zach Fuller right on the back, and he's going to try and go around the outside. Jesse's gone in defensive to FlexiPlus, which is definitely where you want to be, but Zach Fuller's done enough to go right around the outside and take the lead into FlexiPlus, the left-hander, and they'll head out of that. And now that's brought Shane Miller into this fight now that they're sort of going in defensive and Tustin coming offline. So Shane Miller in third place, be a good one to look out for. And Justin Maunder, he was mid-pack before he's got up into fourth place, and Cameron Goldfinch and Liam Whelans, and Clark Fountain, who we can confirm was the man who ran right off the track, tussling with Zach Fuller. So Clark Fountain's come from the back of the pack, and he's in 7th place, only 8.7 seconds back. So if he gets a little bit of a run, he'll see what he can do. The man from Greymouth on the Hughes Motors, Timaru Metals Recyclers, 150. Awesome to see this battle for the lead. Jesse Stroud certainly not letting Zach get away with this one. They head into Fulton Hogan and right on each other's tail as they head out of Fulton Hogan. Wouldn't that be an awesome corner? That's quite a tight little set of S's, wouldn't that be? They would just about flat out on a 150 through there, so awesome to see.
Well, unfortunately, Sarah's bike looks like it's a little bit of a miss there, but now that she's hooked top gear, she looks to be going better. So lovely to have the Manawatu 2 lady with us, and more of the ladies competing in our game. So there she goes, courtesy of BRM, Twister New Zealand, RST Leather, Suzuki. I'm new to this, so every time I go out there, I'm getting faster. She just finished school and are off to study agri-commerce at Massey University. So well done, agri-commerce, of course, are some of our fastest growing diplomas and qualifications in New Zealand. And man, do we need a lot more experts in the agribusiness as we look to be more efficient with farming and yet looking after the environment. We know all about it. So well done and all the best to Sarah. And there's a lady that loves to go out and go racing. So Sarah Humphrey, take a bow. The young Manawatu 2 lady having some fun and getting out there in our GixR lineup.
Here we go, out of the rock sweeper, and it was Zach Fuller that got the slingshot slipstream last time, and now it's the turn of Jesse Stroud, who will be tucked right in there, and already before they even cross the finish line, pulls out. So side by side as they cross the finish line, 1 to go. Shane Miller in third, and then we look at the 17 of Justin Maunder with the 28 of Cameron Goldfinch, 4th and 5th. There they go into FlexiPlus, and it will be Jesse Stroud to hang on to it as well. So awesome stuff, and just shows you how much slipstream means on a 150.
Yeah, great to watch as they go around Flexiplast for the final time. There it is. Could be a change coming up. In fact, you just look right across there in at one split second. You think, wow, how many bikes are there? Because it just looks to be one. The other one's in its perfect shadow as we head down towards Icon for the final time in this race as our GixRs warm up for a great championship, and they'll be all part of the rest of the series for as many rounds as the Superbikes and other classes get as well. Down to braking. There's the advantage. Jesse over Zach at the moment. Down towards Euromark in the corner. That's been the part of the track that Zach has done so well. Look at that. A tighter turn from him. Can he fight his way back? And look, there he is across on the far side. Definitely got the advantage. And can he move into the front? I think he's got it this time. So looking out to Zach Fuller. Possibly a change there. Man, he's so good there at Euromark. That guy can corner and knows how to do it with excellence. I tell you what, watching Jesse underneath us when we were commentating at Whanganui on the overbridge on Boxing Day, and to see how he can tuck down on the side of the bike, I was blown away, because you look at all the other riders and they just, as we say, sort of hang over the side of the bike. Man, he was only holding on by his knee because the rest of his body was tucked down the side of the machine. He's a lightweight, high-flying pilot, and he's doing it with excellence here at the moment. So great work to watch out for. But it is Zach. He's just going with him at this stage. But remembering what happened when you're in the lead, that's the worst thing that happens, because the other rider gets the slipstream. And as we watched last time, if it was to be the finish, Brad Ritchie, it would have been the advantage to Jesse. So Zach's got to pull a buffer, or if Jesse gets too close, he will sling him across the line.
Yeah, this is where some tactics will come into play. Sort of back yourself right into him, and then see what happens in the rock sweeper. You definitely don't want to be leading out of this corner, because it's a decent enough run to the finish line, but Zach Fuller will in fact lead them out of the rock sweeper, and he'll be looking to swerve and break the slipstream. Jesse knows the good racecraft, tucks in behind him, and I think looking at the speed, he's going to have enough to have a little dive. There he goes up the inside and has a little look. So there it is, Jesse Stroud. Definitely Jesse Stroud with the advantage over Zach Fuller, and that was the front wheel in it. So awesome racing. Jesse Stroud, and then Shane Miller in third, with Justin Maunder in fourth, Cameron Goldfinch fifth. There's Clark Fountain, who went off the track early, he's sixth. Lee Whelan's in seventh. Hamish Simpson back in eighth. Hunter Stoneman Boyle, good top 10 from Hunter, in ninth place, with Curtis Boyd back in 10th place, running out the top 10. And I have not seen a top 10 spread that far so far in GixR Cup action, I don't think.
And I think that's part of the reason why this we're at Ruapuna, which is this very busy circuit that's got so many different features, whereas the other tracks, I think that little bit tighter, they've become more of a slipstream and a procession, but no, not here at Ruapuna, where the rider excellence can break out on its own. And well done to Jesse. Zach did everything he could to avoid the slipstream. As soon as he came out the Rock FM sweeper, he tucked up on the inside. Jesse quickly followed him. He moved over. He quickly went back again. He moved over, and then he finally stuck to a line. I think it was the worst thing he could have done. He should have quickly have dabbed over. Yes, it would have been a fraction further to go, but there would be no advantage then for Jesse, and he might have held it. The margin, folks, point is 0.25, so unbelievable. 25 thousandths of a second was all there was in it. I'll tell you what, if you had mounted the transponder too far back, you might have even found that you had yourself in second place instead of the lead. So there you go. Jesse